Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I, this is the time for you guys to ask questions and let me know about any concerns that you have about your composition in two genres assignment. So to get started, tell me please what your anxiety level is on a 1 to 10 scale. 1 being no anxiety, 10 being the most anxiety you've ever felt in your life. What is your anxiety level about this assignment? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute. Five, okay. 5, 6, 6. Okay, so it's a middling. Oh, 3, that's good. I hope that you all are not feeling too anxious about this. I want to let you guys know before we get started that I I have looked at most of y'all's proposals and by and large they look very good. And I really look forward to seeing the work that you guys come up with for this assignment. So I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor for questions. So what questions do you all have for me about this assignment? You can ask questions in the chat or you can just unmute yourself and ask questions. You guys have no questions? This is just you guys do you guys feel like you have a good grasp on this assignment? Is that what's going on? Okay, Ming asked how many words do we need to write for this essay? Let me make sure I am being consistent with. So there is no word count for the two genre writings as it'll be contingent upon what genre you write in. Your rationale and your reflection each need to be 1 to 2 pages or 250 to 500 words. Any questions about the examples that I posted? Okay, so Julie asked, when I say rationale, what does that refer to? Let me see if I called it. So rationale, I'm talking about the audience strategy, which is a piece of the assignment. The audience strategy is going to discuss how you're going to discuss the rhetorical situation of your two pieces. So I want to see that you are aiming at a specific audience and utilizing the genre at your disposal to target that audience in particular. Right? So in your rationale, I want you to talk about things like what type of language did you use? What is your purpose in writing this assignment? Who is your audience? And what means did you use to target that audience in particular? So like if you're writing a social media post that's aimed at young people, you might use slang or even profanity in your post. Whereas if you are writing a newspaper article that's aimed at a more general, audience, you might use more formal language, but also language that is accessible to the general public. So like you wouldn't probably use high academic language, but you also probably wouldn't use like the language that you use when you're speaking to your peers. So that's the type of information I'm looking for in your rationale. So it's sort of like it's like a justification. You're like, so you're presenting me with your two genres, and you're saying in your rationale, this is why I'm using these genres, and this is why the stylistic choices that I made make sense in the context of this audience and this purpose. Does that answer your question? You are welcome. There's also there's a description of the rationale within the assignment itself. Other questions?
Hey Kelly, it's this way.
Hey, say.
Let's say that the genre that the person is choosing is YouTube video. We have to create the YouTube video, correct?
Yes, you have to make the YouTube video. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but you do have to make it yourself.
Okay, gotcha. And the link to see the other examples of genres that you put in I believe the assignments, we don't have access to it. Like we can only see the first two, and then the third link, I believe we don't have access to it.
Okay, let me take a look into that. Let me write that down and look into it. Are you logged into your Academic Commons site?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just want to see what is like the full list of genres, because I only know like 3 to 4.
Okay. I'll take a look at that and see if I can what I'll do is I'll download it as a PDF and post the PDF of that assignment.
Okay.
What I'm guessing happened is that person who made that has tight privacy settings on, and I might have to just draw the PDF.
Yeah, because I just want to know like what type of genres there are, like complete. What are all the genres? Because I only know like 4 of them. I just want to know what my other options are.
Okay, what do you know? What genres do you know?
The social media post that you spoke about in class last week. I know the op-ed. We actually like just those 2, to be honest. Because the others I heard about, but I'm not really sure. Like I grasped those 2, the social media post and the op-ed, more than anything I heard.
Okay. So it really is pretty open. I've had students do like TV commercials, and again, you don't have to have the level of artistic expertise that a TV producer would have. But and I've had students do like within social media, there are lots of different types of posts that you could do. Like saying a social media post doesn't just mean one thing. Mm-hmm. Like a tweet is different from a TikTok, is different from an Instagram reel, is different from an Instagram story. And I've had, for the most part, I see the questions in the chat, and I'm going to get to them as soon as I'm done talking about this. For the most part, I've had students focus on more visual types of
drawings.
Like drawings. But okay. If you are making a drawing, I want you to imagine like a specific context in which your drawing would be on display. Like, it's not enough to say like the genre is drawing. Is your drawing a piece of art that you imagine in a museum? Is it a political cartoon? Okay. Is it a piece to be distributed on social media? I want you not to just be like
just to draw, just to have okay.
Right. I want you to think about who is going to see this and what is the purpose of this. Okay. It's going to be different depending on the context. Yeah. And in terms of written work, I've had students do like fiction short stories. I've had them do personal narratives. I've had them do like memoir writing. It's pretty open. If you have a question about whether or not a genre would be appropriate, I'm always available to answer those sorts of questions.
Gotcha, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Julie, about the confusion. You do have to do it you do have to make 2 original compositions for this. Can I go over what we're technically supposed to do for this assignment? Okay, so this assignment is comprised of 2 pieces of media that you make. So that's your writing in 2 genres. And that can be a visual or it can be a piece of writing. And those are the things that I just went over for Hostway. So those choices are up to you. You can write in whatever genres you like. And then you are going to have, you're going to submit alongside that an audience strategy in which you justify the choices that you made in each of your visuals. So like, so that's what I went over when I was talking to Julie, when Julie asked her question about what is the audience strategy. That's 1 to 2 pages, 250 to 500 words discussion of why you made the stylistic choices that you made in your visuals based upon your audience and your purpose. And then after you have submitted those pieces, you're going to submit a reflection in which you, just like you did for your source space essay, look back on the process of writing this essay, think about what you could have done differently, think about what you would do if you were to do this assignment over. Just to review, there are your 2 genres in which you write, your rationale or audience strategy, and then the reflection, which is going to be due after the final submission of your 2 genres and audience strategy. Does that answer your question, Tasnova? Yeah, the Savara asks, is the rationale separate from the final essay, or that is the final essay? So your final essay is your 2 genres and your audience strategy. So those are the pieces of your essay. There is no separate essay from those 3 components. So the actual writing that you have to do for this assignment is not that long. I'm really looking, theoretically, you could have 2 short genre writings. Oh, some people are here. And then 1 to 2 pages each.
So the rationale is essentially just what you're basically stating your strategy, how you're connecting it to the audience that you're planning
exactly. Exactly, Josue. You're talking about what am I doing here to target this specific audience? And strategy is a great way to think about it. It's in the title, audience strategy. So Julie asks, the draft is due. I'd like to see, so what I'm looking for in the draft is a draft of your audience strategy. It's totally okay if you don't have the final product for each of your genres yet. I'm just looking for a draft of the audience strategy. And so whatever you have in terms of the genre writing, I'd like for you to submit that as well, but it's okay if that's not totally finalized yet. So if you can just, if you want to put, Julie, if you want to have the idea for your social media post as a draft, you don't have to have the actual post completed. So what I'm going to be grading your draft on is, does it meet the word count for that audience strategy? So I'm going to be saying, is it 250 to 500 words? And that's what I'm grading. But you want to have as much as you can for your peers to evaluate. So it's in your best interest to have as much work as you possibly can, but I'm just going to be grading based on the audience strategy. This recording going to be posted on YouTube. Yes, I'm gonna post the recording of this Zoom session on YouTube. If we decide to make a YouTube video as one of the genres, do we have to write and explain it? You have to explain in your audience strategy what you did to target your particular audience. You have to explain your genres and analyze the rhetorical situations for each of your genres. Does that answer your question, Jen? Okay, awesome. Yeah. Other questions? Okay, if y'all don't have any more questions, we can go ahead and close out. What did I want to say? Oh, again, your proposals look excellent. I see some really creative work going on in this class. I want to encourage you guys to keep it up, keep going. You guys are doing an awesome job. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, or if you'd like to set up a one-on-one meeting to talk over your project with me. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in Professor Charlton's class, or I'll see you guys in Professor Charlton's class on Wednesday.
I actually have just one question really quickly.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so after we do like our genre, like after we write out or like well, I decided to do like a YouTube video. But after we set that up, so then the rationale is explain the audience, right? And then it will how you're conveying to the audience, right?
Yeah,
And then it's
yes,
like 1 to 2 pages, right? So
yeah, 1 to 2 pages. Mm-hmm.
Got you. Okay. I just
1
want
to 2
clarify that
pages
for myself.
total for both of your genres.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't. There is one audience strategy for both of your genres. So I'm looking for you to be concise here. So if you're doing a YouTube video and op-ed, you don't need a separate audience strategy for each piece. You're just going to have one audience strategy in which you discuss both of the pieces.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's the 250 to 500 words
Okay.
audience strategy.
Okay. Got it.
Other questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great day.
You too.